The question everyone's been asking me lately is it safe to take a vacation? The long answer is that depends on a lot of things, including where you're going to go, what you're going to do when you get there, and the precautions that you take along the way. The short answer is that you need to weigh the benefits of taking a trip, which there are quite a few. Reduce stress, increased happiness, increased social interaction with other people, with the risks of infecting yourself or others with COVID-19, depending on where you go. There's a lot of COVID-19 misinformation out there on the internet, and you might be thinking, why should I trust you when I'm trying to make my decision whether to travel or not? Well, first of all, good for you for being a critical consumer of information on the internet. Second of all, here's my credentials. I'm a professor in the Indiana University School of Public Health, Bloomington. My area of study is the nexus of travel and health. And I also have a travel website and a podcast called The Trip Doctor. All of my social media connection details are over there on the right if you want to connect with me and follow me for the latest COVID-19 travel information. I'm going to talk about two important things in this video. One is, are there certain places that are safer than others to travel to? Two is, are there certain activities that I can do when I travel that are going to keep me safe and reduce my risk of being infected with COVID-19? So let's start with number one. Number one, are there certain places that are more risky to travel to than others? You've probably heard a lot of information recently about Florida and Texas and a few other states in the US and how they've had huge outbreaks of COVID-19 over the last couple of weeks. So you might be thinking those are places I really don't want to travel to, and you're probably right in those cases. But one of the issues that we have in the United States is our testing for COVID-19 has been abysmal. So when you're thinking about picking a travel destination, you want to look for a place that has a lot of testing relative to the amount of population in the place and a low percentage of positive tests related to the number of tests that are being conducted. If you have those two things in a travel destination, your risk for infection is likely to be lower than a place that is not doing a very good job of testing and has a high percentage of positive tests in the tests that they are doing. So the second question is, are there things that I can do that are going to be a little bit safer than others when I'm traveling? Well, most of the research now tells us that the transmission of COVID-19 is mainly through droplets in the air. So the two things that I mentioned earlier, wearing a mask, maintaining physical distance, those are going to be especially important no matter where you decide to go if you travel. But if you're picking a travel destination, the things that you can look for are places that have a lot of open space. So for example, parks, woods, rivers, lakes, that sort of thing, where you have a lot of airflow. If you're having an indoor space, look for a place that has positive airflow that's going to be moving air through there, and that's going to reduce the chances that those droplets are going to get in your respiratory system and give you a COVID-19 infection. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, I don't like the woods, or that's not my idea of a great vacation. What can I do if I want to go into tourism businesses to reduce my risk of infection? Well, the first thing that I would say you should do is call travel companies and ask them what they're doing to reduce risk in their businesses. Most of them will be more than happy to answer your questions. The tourism industry has been really hard hit by the pandemic, and so they are really looking to relieve your concerns about COVID infection, and they'll tell you what they're doing. So most companies will probably tell you that they are disinfecting surfaces daily, a lot of times hourly, sometimes even more often than that. I would really look for businesses that are requiring their employees to wear masks. And I would also look for places that have changed the way that they've organized their business to reduce the likelihood that you're going to come into close contact with other people. So for instance, a lot of restaurants are now offering outside seating, places where you can be far apart from other people. And that combined with having things like servers who are wearing masks are really going to reduce your risk of infection when you go and do these travel activities on your trips. So I'm going to be creating a series of videos about COVID and travel. I'm going to cover specific travel experiences like taking a flight, taking a road trip, going to a hotel. How does that compare with renting an Airbnb if you do decide to travel? I'm also going to be doing 2-minute daily COVID updates that give you sort of the latest travel news, what's going on in the travel world that might change either where you're allowed to go, what types of regulations you'll have to follow when you get to certain places, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in those types of videos, connect with me on my social media. I'll be posting all those videos and all sorts of other news tidbits for you to better make informed travel decisions. If you look at the risk of travel and you say the benefits of traveling are really going to outweigh the risks of infection to myself and other people, check out that information. You can use it to help you make informed decisions.